This is a review of the New Testament Handbook by Holman. I'll also review the same thing in the Old Testament, also by Holman. These are provided to me free of charge by Holman because they're just nice folks. I have used these, unlike some people who just review things and have never used them. I've used the Old Testament one extensively and the New Testament one sparingly. Obviously, all the Old Testament books. It's a very nice cloth-bound volume with one orange ribbon. There are handily a bunch of different maps in here for the different aspects. This is not a reference work in the sense of it has a lot of writing, like you might find in The Story Retold or some sort of biblical theology book. It's more visual. That being said, you do have some things here in the beginning that frame some of the discussion for the rest of the book. So for instance, here's Genesis, and it always has a brief statement about the book. Then you have this author, background, message and purpose, summary and structure in the introduction. I believe that this is the same that you will find in the CSB Study Bible, for those who are wondering. I found the outlines helpful, handy even, although I didn't always agree with the outlines that I was using in my own preparation. I am not a huge fan of the word studies, which are also in the CSB Study Bible, but some people like them. The timelines I did find to be helpful in the various books of the Bible, and the charts and the different angles from which you can look at that book of the Bible. Some of them are shorter than others. For instance, I think it was Esther maybe that I was looking at recently, and there wasn't a lot on Esther. You have the first page of Esther, the introduction, the outline, word studies, and that's pretty much it. This chart is not just about Esther, though it does mention Esther over here, and it has a key verse. That's about all it says. The New Testament one, as I mentioned, I haven't used as much, but I have used it, for instance, on the book of Acts, as you can see from my markings there. Summary statements, introduction page, outline, word studies, and then some handy timelines and some maps. These maps, this map right here is not real visible. They put the land in dark and the seas in a light gray and the words in a blue, and they're not real easy to see, but that's just kind of a nitpicky thing. So helpful charts about this one are like the different miracles, different church leaders, the different sermons and discourses, and then often, as you will see in any back of your Bible, it has the maps, in this case the first, second, and third missionary journeys, and the one that maps don't always include his voyage to Rome. So in this case, the one on Acts was pretty extensive in how much it detailed, including a description about Paul's life and his persecutions, and I just found it a really helpful guide to Acts. So that is the New Testament Handbook and the Old Testament Handbook by Holman, using the CSB as its main text, and I find them to be very handy guides to the Old and New Testaments. Thanks to Holman.